श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सगणता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरचुषे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्ते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्यां जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा
कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
Hare Krishna. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 6, Chapter 1, text number 38. The blessed messengers of Lord Vishnu, the Vishnudutas said, if you are actually servants of Yamraj, you must explain to us the meaning of religious principles and the symptoms of irreligion. Adharmasya lakshana. Bruta dharmasya nastatvam and adharmasya lakshana. Dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhaya. To understand dharmasya tattvam, here also is a word. Dharmasya nastatvam. Na means unto us, tattvam. You speak about what is dharma. Later on, Yamraj also says that. Difficult to understand the principle of true religious principles. द्वादशे स्वयंभू नारद शंभु कुमार कपिलो मनु प्रहलादो जनको भीष्मो बलिर्वयस्की वयम द्वादशे ते विजानीमो धर्मं भागवतं भटा गुह्यं विशुद्धं दुर्बोधं यज्ञात्नाम अमृताश्नुते. Lord Brahma, Bhavan, Narad, Lord Shiva, four Kumaras, Lord Kapila, Swayambhu Manu, Prahlad Maharaj, Janak Maharaj, Grandfather Bhishma, Bali Maharaj, Shukadeva Goswami, I myself know the real religious principles. Here also what is used? Dharma. My dear servants, this transcendental religious principle, which is known as Bhagavad Dharma or surrender unto the Supreme Lord and love for Him, is uncultivated by material modes of nature. It is very common, confidential and difficult for ordinary human beings to understand. But if by chance one fortunately understands it, he is immediately liberated and thus returns home back to the world. Guhyam Vishuddham Durbodham means it is confidential, it's very pure. Durbodham means not easily understandable. Vishuddham means Sattvam Vishuddham, Vasudeva Chanditam. Vishuddham means transcendental, not contaminated by the material modes of nature. That is the actual dharma, parodharma, or dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhaya. Mm. The truth about the true religion is very, very confidential. Why it's confidential? Because not an ordinary person can understand it. Only a very qualified person know about it. As per our contemplations in the mind, the state of our consciousness, we'll be able to understand certain things, depending on what is which mode we are functioning. In mode of ignorance, a person sees dharma to be adharma, adharma to be dharma. They manufacture their own dharmas, which is actually adharma. To put for charging, I think. So that is the nature of mode of ignorance, madness. A person doesn't understand. In today's world, modern man, Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, they are useless. And then, so clear. They are doing all reverse research, oftentimes you'll find, to deny the right things that give. Like, for example, the cow milk. Modern man, vegans, they come out with some different theories. We should not take cow milk. But you can take cow-based fish. That is the vegan don't say that, but they're promoting indirectly that. Because if the cows are not giving milk, then what is their meant for? They will be only slaughtered more. So they don't understand consequences of their concocted philosophies and concocted religious principles. So you'll find in Kali Yuga a lot of such things. But what is the real religion is considered useless. People think, what is this? Performing some puja in temple, what is the use of those things? But they will go for dancing in the clubs, spending time there. They will not worship deities, but they will have worshipping Mickey Mouse, perverted reflection of Radha and Krishna worship. They will have Disneyland and then they will go and worship Mickey Mouse. Mickey and Mouse. But Radha Krishna, they have a problem worshipping. So many people go there in Disneyland, sing this Mickey Mouse, and enjoy the life there. So that is the problem. If you ask them come and dance in the morning in the Mangalarti, that they will not do. The whole night they will be drinking and doing dancing, so-called dancing in the clubs. Early morning, during Brahma Muhurta time, they will be sound sleep, light. Yanisha sarvabhutanam tasyam jagrati samami. When there is a night, they will be awake. And when there is a time for performing spiritual duties, they will be sleeping. Brahma Muhurta time and morning times. This is a mode of ignorance. They are more active in the ignorance time. And they will do opposite things to the goodness. Goodness person is more active during the Brahma Muhurta, the daytime. They will be more active in night times. The Shastra says that night times all the people who are ignorance, they will be acting more. Thieves and ghosts. These people. And today you'll find so many people having night awake. We were coming from the program night. We saw all the hostel lights are on. And sometimes there are awake till next day morning. And just before the sunrise, they will be sleeping. They will sleep for till 12 o'clock, like that. Mode of ignorance. Shastra says that you eat vegetarian food, they will listen. They will find out all research work, how this non-veg is good. You need vitamins and you need those things. Justification comes actually later. First, the desires are there. So how can they understand the right principles? Because to understand the right religious principles, they have to come to the mode of higher modes, goodness. From ignorance, when they will go to passion, and then they will come to the goodness. They need some spiritual practices for it. Automatically will not happen. And therefore, it is difficult to make them explain also, understand, make them understand also these things. Unless they take some initiative to come out of these lower modes. Dharmasya tattvam vihitam guhai. This will be very, very difficult for them to understand. That's why they are confidential. It's open philosophy, Krishna consciousness is open, Bhagavatam is there, Bhagavata is there. But because their consciousness is degraded, they cannot understand. Just like a criminal cannot understand state laws, how they are beneficial for everyone. Because of their unlawful desires, they don't care for those laws. They don't accept those laws. And even if they have to go to jail and suffer, still they go on doing the same things. Nunam pramatta kurte vikarmana. Because of the madness, which is the symptom of person in the mode of ignorance. Nidra alasya pramata. Madness. And then they will go on performing sinful activities and degrade their consciousness more and more. They will sometimes maybe eulogized by the worldly people as great scholars, philosophers, and educated people. But there is ignorance and passion. The people in this world, Kali Yuga, maximum people are into the lower modes. And therefore, those who are in the lower modes, the activities are like animals, animalistic activities they are absorbed. Cats, dogs, horse, cats and dogs, horse, Shovit Varaha, dogs, horse, camels and asses. Bhagavatam says their mentality is like dogs, hogs. Prabhupada explains all this. What is the mentality of a dog? What is the mentality of a hog? Dog means he always requires a master. And no matter how much times he is driven away, again he needs somebody. Vedic societies, you make people independently thoughtful. Make them actually higher state, goodness and pure goodness, or at least passion and goodness. The Vaishyas, Kshatriyas and Brahmanas, they operate in the higher modes. The Brahmanas are in the goodness, Kshatriyas are in combination of goodness and passion. And Vaishyas are combination of passion and sometimes ignorance. And Shudras are completely in ignorance. So higher three classes you'll find they are for their livelihood also they are independent. In higher classes they are trained to be more thoughtful and independent thoughtful, Brahmanas especially. But by providing them sense gratification, pulling the people to the mode of ignorance, they become actually like slaves. Even so-called intellectuals also become slaves of their mind and senses. Now today's education system, whole education system is that made so much dependent that everybody is looking only for the jobs. Nobody is thinking about doing business or ruling like Kshatriyas. There are no Kshatriyas also, no Brahmana also, practically. Kalo Shudra Sambhava, that already Janmana Jayati Shudro, everybody is born Shudra. And we are trained also like that. Training also is Shudra training. So all the education system is spending so much money, and ultimately what people do is go for begging for jobs. So Prabhupada says this actually. Dogs in a sense, he needs a master always. So this is how we are trained. All of us are being trained like this. And nobody thinks about having independently thoughtful ways of, in spite of so much of education, they have to go and say, sir, give us the job. The Brahmanas and Kshatriyas will never go for anybody like that. Vaishyas also can't go. They will have their business. Or the Kshatriyas will have their landlords there. And Brahmanas are, they don't, they just depend on charity. Whatever charity comes by giving them selfless service to society. So all three classes are actually independent in that sense. They don't depend on anybody else. Then the hogs mentality, Prabhupada explained that hogs, they don't discriminate eating also. Whatever kinds of eating. What people are trained to eat nowadays, all rubbish things they eat. So many things, rotten things. Don't discriminate. Most of their food is mode of ignorance. Wine and intoxicants and flesh, rotten food. They may be put in a very nice posh plates and so-called clean tables, but what they are eating is rubbish food. That puts them further into mode of ignorance. Passion and ignorance. Just like hogs doesn't discriminate what kind of food he's eating. Similarly, they also don't discriminate whether it's humanly consumable or not. Right? After 6 hours of cooking food, 3 hours, 4 hours, it becomes mode of ignorance. All these packaged foods and everything what they are getting is mode of ignorance basically. They advertise into the packets all these things, that is contains these proteins, vitamins and whatever that. When it is cooked, long back. And then they put so many preservatives in that, just so that it is not further fermenting. So this is how they don't discriminate what they are eating also. Dogs, hogs, and camels. Camels means Prabhupada says that the so-called enjoyment they are having, no control of senses. The sense enjoyment on a materialistic platform is like drinking one's own blood. The camels also, that it chews that cactus. Cactus has thorns, and the thorns they actually prick into his tongue, and the bleeding blood comes out. The thorny bush has no taste. That cactus has actually no taste practically. Some juicy leaves are there, but with thorns. He eat that thorns, and the blood comes out, and the taste he enjoys is the taste of the blood. Similarly, sense gratification, especially sex life, also is like that. This one has to enjoy consuming one's own blood, and that is so much illusionized everywhere. Prabhupada says, I have seen even old people in Paris going to the nightclubs, rich people, to see that wine and women for that. uncontrolled mind and senses. So they're enjoying like camel enjoying thorns and thinking that it's there. And camels and asses. Asses means working very, very hard. Hmm. The ass doesn't have intelligence that he can get grass anywhere. But because the washerman gives him some grass, then he's thinking that if I don't serve this washerman, how will I get my grass? Sometimes very heavy load is put on his back. The ass is not able to even stand up, but still the washerman puts some carrot in front of his. He ties a stick, the stick on his head. The carrot is in front of it, and that the ass thinks that, oh, I have to get up and eat that carrot. And then he gets up and eats the carrot, try to eat the carrot goes ahead. And then he just walks and then walks and walks. That's how he's taken to the riverside, hoping that I'll get one day this carrot. Similarly, all these corporates, they keep on giving me carrot, carrot and stick. If you do this, you will get this much ranking, you get this much promotion, you will get this much increment in your salary. Everywhere competition. Competition for what? Just to make people work hard. And all this, they're like carrots. You sit and you keep on walking. I have to get this success, I have to do this, I have to do that. For what? Same thing, getting that carrot. And at the end of hard work, they will use that carrot. And then again the next day, same carrot working for. After working so hard, then they will give some incentives and bonus. You spend so much of your blood, so much of your time. Chanakya says the time is, human form of life is Ayushya Kshanayakapi na labhyate swarna kotivi. That your one moment of human life cannot be obtained by giving crores of gold coins. And they are giving hours and hours getting some little carrot. The human form of life is so valuable. And everybody talks about the things. How much carrot, big carrot you are getting. Big package means big carrot, a small carrot. But in comparison with what you can get human form of life, the attainment from the freedom of old age and death, and Vaikuntha, that they don't have intelligence to understand these things. For them, this small carrot is everything of life. All the talks are revolving around that only. Because everybody talks, and people think that is truth. That's what Kali is. All this big advertisement. There also companies come. The one devotee was saying that they keep on advertising. We have a company like this, you will get this, you will get that. We have such facilities for your enjoyment. Join our company. Why join? Work hard for that only. And advertisement means carrot. Take away all your freedom for this carrot, and then they think that I have attained a big achievement in my life. So that's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that Jivere Karai Gada, Jada Vidya Jara Maya Vaibhav. That this Maya is opulence, Maya Vaibhav, Jada Vidya, materialistic education. That is making ass out of everyone. People feel that I am working so hard. 10 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours. For getting that money which they cannot enjoy also properly in cities. It's all smoke, they have to travel, with all crowds they have to travel oftentimes. They have to stay also in very congested places in Bangalore and such places. Flats are so costly. Everything is very costly there. And they have to spend money also that much. But they'll spend money for prestige and they'll earn money and spend also. Whatever remains in their hands is practically the same thing what other person can get. But prestige. and some gratification of senses. The peace of mind and real freedom of their choices, what they want to make the right choices, they are not allowed. As soon as they deny something, immediate threat comes. Stick, carrot and stick. We'll throw you out of the job. So that stick, they give you prestige and then they show you, threaten you. And people are afraid, I lose my prestige positions. Then you have to work hard. And they will not work at all for spiritual advancement, but they will be forced to work hard in those places. So these four categories of people were in category animals, and the mentalities of those people, Bhagavatam describes. So with Varahashtra Kharai, Samstuta Purusha Parai. People who have this mentality of dogs, hogs, camels, and asses praise other people who are bigger dogs. Just like the dog, big dog comes, small dog will be putting his tail down. Oh, sir, you are so great. Then he has to bow down. You've seen here dogs, so many dogs are there. There are hierarchies. Big dog comes, he has bigger teeth and bigger claws. The other dog will put his tail down. So that's how the materialistic civilization is like that only. So a big dog comes working on a big position, the others they salute him like that. And same thing hogs also. All these parties and everything, who can eat all those kind of rubbish things. So those who are having bigger capacity of acting like this, they are praised by the people. Bhagavatam Samstuta Purusha Parai. They praise other people. Oh, he's such a big. So they have bigger bodies of the same mentalities. Dogs, hogs, cat, camels and asses. One boy, our devotee, was talking to one of his senior working in Japan or like that. He was explaining that ultimately you want to enjoy women. This person is having so many relationships within Australia. This person is having. I was shocked. All their work is only for that. Enjoying wine and women. IIT boy, one, working in some place. He thought of taking some guidance from him. What is his guidance is all these things. He started speaking about how his friends are enjoying. And that is considered the ultimate goal of life. Which animals are enjoying much better than them. Those pleasures. But they are considered great stalwarts, those who can enjoy like that. More animalistic way, then they are becoming more famous. When they will understand this Bhagavad Dharma, Bhagavad Dharma is so exalted, selfless service without any sense gratification. It's very, very difficult. With such mentality, it doesn't sink only this. All these things will become all this. Just like if you show a book to the buffalo. काला अक्षर भेद बराबर बोलते ना काला अक्षर में they show the book what the buffalo is going to do with some Bhagavatam or like they will think only of eating. Similarly for them also it doesn't make sense, all these literatures. Those who are absorbed in such mentality, they may be sometimes out of pride, may be questioning. What this? Prabhupada went to the MIT. One boy said, what you are having this on your back? Prabhupada said, what is it having your neck, around your neck? I was just reading yesterday. What you are tying around your neck? Prabhupada laughed and he started looking. Prabhupada didn't answer like that. Prabhupada saw the mentality of a person, simply wanted to make some comment. What you are having on your back? Prabhupada didn't answer about Shikha or Tilak, whatever it is. They will be doing all such things, but they will be questioning about it. Unnecessarily. Just challenging attitude. So the actual religious principles are. And some people who make little bit more, come to the piety or like that, they will start talking about, oh, you should serve your parents, you should serve your nation, and that is what ultimate for them. They even don't recognize that demigods administrations over. Kali Yuga people don't put faith also on those things. For them, only this is all in all, like that. So those who are very few people are like that. Those who understand little bit on morality or some piety, they will also criticize this. What is this Bhakti Hare Krishna? So maximum percentage of people in Kali Yuga will find how difficult it is to accept true pure teachings, what Bhagavatam is giving. Either they are very, very sinful or they are so-called moralist. So many people have difficulties to understand Krishna's activities. Why Krishna is dancing with gopis and very difficult it is. Unless their heart becomes cleansed of those mentalities, it's difficult to appreciate. And then that's why it says that dharmasya tattvam nihitam guvaya. Because the mentality of the people are so degraded, they cannot appreciate the higher religious principles. They are affected by the mode of ignorance and passion, and unless they take initiative to come out of it, if they are simply operating on those modes, becoming proud, they will have difficulties to appreciate a person in mode of goodness or pure goodness. They will simply think useless. So there has to be an initiative taken, and there has to be a spiritual practices performed with that initiative. And here he said that if somebody is representing someone, the servant must know the instructions of the master. Nobody wants to become servant. They are forced to become servant purposely. Service. The jobs and service. They say it's service, but their service consciousness is not there. And in spiritual path, when you are told to become servant, you are das. It's very difficult to accept. I don't want to become das, servant. Jivere Swarupa hai Krishna Nitya das. But actually becoming a servant of the Supreme Lord is the greatest position in the entire creation. Denying that, they are becoming a servant of Maya, illusion. So by actually serving Krishna, one immediately becomes free from this Maya. But again, the same thing, that what is the meaning of becoming really servant? That one should know the master's mission, purpose, and instructions. The true servant means he really want to serve, give happiness to the master. And as long as a person's mind and senses are uncontrolled, there is a question of service. Service means your mind and senses are completely controlled, then only you can think of giving service. Or you can really serve. If one's mind and senses are uncontrolled, we are serving mind and senses. So all the activities in this world people are performing is simply to serve their mind and senses, ultimately, purposely. And they may be saying that they are doing this and that. But everybody is absorbed in serving his own mind and senses, thinking that that is me. So sometimes people portray that they are serving. That service is done, the activity is done to get some return. So therefore it's not actually service. It's a business mentality, wanting to take something out of it. But in Vedic times, even business is done with the service consciousness. Krushi Goraksha Vanijyam, Goraksha, the Vaishyas would do that like that. Farming and excess was trading. Everything was done with the mood of service to Krishna. The Brahmanas, Kshatriyas would act like that. So they had the consciousness to serve the Supreme. But they were actually, because of serving Krishna, by serving Krishna, one actually becomes free from this Maya, illusory energy, or the material world. His dependence on material world reduces naturally. And more one is denying service to Krishna, more one will be dependent on the material nature. Dependence. Prabhupada says the Kali Yuga people's lifespan is reducing because of over dependency on others' mercy. Because of people's irregulated lifestyle also. And what the reason is? Irregular habits, over dependence on others' mercy. Too much dependent on others. But Brahmanical, Kshatriya and Vaishyas means they are less dependent on others. They are dependent more on Krishna, higher principles. And that is possible by actually giving up these material desires. Mind and senses are controlled. Naturally, your dependence on the materialistic people will reduce. The Brahmana can be satisfied in any situation of life. Very deeply satisfied. Prasanna. Goodness nature is Sukham. Prasannatma. So the modern man, modern leaders who are ignorance and passion, they try to pull everybody also in mood of ignorance and passion so that they can control them for their own enjoyment. That is their propaganda. They create such an environment by which everybody is thinking that I have to achieve these goals. But these goals are set to make people go into the mode of ignorance further. They are not to bring them up higher to the higher status of life. You can see the whole education system is geared like that only, to make people actually work out of passion and ignorance. No higher knowledge is taught. No spiritual education is given in the name of secularism. As soon as you give spiritual education to the person, he becomes free actually. He becomes independent, thoughtful. And they are afraid of that, because then they will not listen to these simple plans. People will become spiritually advanced, then they will not cooperate with them. They will cooperate with Krishna, Krishna's plans. So, when we are trying to serve Krishna, we should study Krishna's instructions very thoroughly. Otherwise, simply saying that I am Krishna's devotee without knowing Krishna's message, Krishna's mission. How much they are making us to study their mission. From the age of 5 till 25, now 30 also people study. Every day, hours and hours they are bombarding. And if you ask people to read first Bhagavad Gita for some time, no time. Still Krishna consciousness is so powerful, see. By hearing little and reading little and chanting little, we come out of that deep ignorance to such a degree by mercy of Srila Prabhupada. At least we are able to appreciate it, understand. Otherwise, all the 20 years we have been bombarded with that material education. Krishna consciousness of power, it can bring out. But actually, really, we can come out only when we are absorbed fully in Krishna's service. And Bhagavatam, hearing, reading, and serving Krishna. Then we'll be able to really carry out Krishna's instructions properly. That's the purpose of Krishna consciousness in 24 hours. We should be engaged in Krishna's service. Servants of Yamraj claim to be carrying out his orders, and therefore Vishnudutas very intelligently asked them to explain the symptoms of religious and irreligious principles. Because here Yamdutas, they were not able to understand the situation. Ajamena. And that's why they were questioned. A Vaishnava knows these principles perfectly well because he is well acquainted with the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, uh, as our heart becomes purified, then the instruction of Krishna also will become very, very clear. Passion and ignorance, there is rejection of the right principles. They don't, we don't heartily accept them in our heart. Teachings becomes sometimes, अरे कैसा practical ही गया, ऐसा like में हो गया. Why people question like this? Because there is no acceptance in the heart. So as we make spiritual advancement, the Prabhupada says Krishna consciousness is a matter of understanding and accepting facts. Very simple thing. Krishna consciousness is a matter of understanding. You understand first and accept. Sarvam etat rutam manye yomam vadasi Keshava. Arjuna said that whatever you are saying, Krishna, I accept it. Sarvam etat rutam manye. Only devotee can accept like this wholeheartedly everything. Whatever Krishna is saying, completely. Mayavadis, because they don't have devotion, they have their own independent mentality, they will not accept everything. Ardha Kokoti Nyaya. They will accept whatever suits to their minds. A devotee means he accepts everything. Sarvam etat rutam manye. Whatever you have said, my dear Lord, Yammam vadasi Keshava, I accept it. So in our lives also, as we make advancement, everything is happily when we are accepting. Oh, such a wonderful thing. So we become joyful of reading Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Ramayana. Everything is accepted in the heart. So the Vaishnava knows religious principles perfectly because he is well acquainted with the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Lord says, Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. Give up all other varieties of religion and say surrender unto me. Therefore, surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the actual principles of religion. Those who have surrendered to the principles of material nature instead of to Krishna are all impious regardless of their material position. Unaware of these principles of religion, they do not surrender to Krishna. Prabhupada again says, the question posed by the Vishnudutas is very, very suitable. First says, inquiry by the Vishnudutas to Yamdutas is most important. And again Prabhupada says, question posed by the Vishnudutas is very suitable. Again he's saying the same thing. One, before he said, a servant must know the instruction of his master. And he says, one who represents someone else must fully know that person's mission. The devotee in Krishna consciousness moment must therefore be fully aware of the mission of Krishna and Lord Chaitanya. Otherwise, they will be considered foolish. So if we don't understand, we will not be able to not only preach Krishna consciousness, but we will not be able to also deal with other devotees also properly. You have to act, especially when you are put in a leadership and responsible position. A devotee has to act exactly as Krishna will act in that situation. If you are always thinking like this, if my Guru is there in this place, how will he act? Or Krishna is there in this place, how will he act? We have to really not imagine, but really understand based on their instructions and their activities. Then we will be able to represent them properly in the situation, every situations. So transparent via medium means what? The Guru acts as a transparent via medium. Means he is exactly as Krishna will be acting, so that person can see Krishna acting in his life through the spiritual master. And from the practical point of view, Prabhupada is saying when you are going for preaching, also you should know what is Krishna's wishes. Otherwise, you consider foolish. You don't answer the questions properly. Okay. Any questions, comments?
But Prabhupada told us sometimes, go and preach. And
Yes.
sometimes we are told to go and preach, even though we don't know, then what?
We should try our best to study. That's what Prabhupada is saying. Right? We should understand, try to understand. As much as we understand, that much you can preach. It's not that everything you understand, then only you can preach. But the point is that we should be eager to understand what is exactly what Prabhupada wanted, what Krishna wants, what Chaitanya Prabhu wanted. Yes, we should be eager to always know it. We may commit mistakes sometimes, but we come back and again rectify those things. Mm. Vaishnavas means the Vishnu Janas, Krishna's people. Krishna considers whom as his own people? Those who actually selflessly love him and want to execute his mission. They are very dear to Krishna and they are his people. So we should be aspiring to be counted as Krishna's people, truly. Vishnu Janas or Uttama Shloka Janas, or in a real sense, Hari Janas. Yes. Foolish people, they write this Hari Janas into something. Yes. So we should act in such a way that people, when they hear from us, get faith in Krishna more, and especially when we act in such a way that not only outsiders but devotees also get faith more in Krishna. That is a real devotee. A devotee acts in such a way that by his actions, by his words, and by his everything what he does. First class Vaishnava, by seeing him, people become inspired to chant Krishna's name. Right? Neophyte is one who chants once, even once, he becomes neophyte devotee. One who is constantly chanting, he becomes Madhyam class. And Uttama class is one who is constantly not only chanting, but by seeing him, people are inspired to chant Krishna's name. That is how the devotees really. Those who are innocent, immediately they get inspired, seeing a devotee chant Krishna's name. So we should always in a mood that what Krishna wants me to do in this situation. What is Krishna's mission exactly? How will I be able to execute Krishna's mission and make him happy? What are his instructions really in this particular situation? So this is how a devotee is eager to study literatures in order to understand Krishna's mission more, in order to understand Krishna. So if we love someone, we want to know about him more. And that's how devotee wants to know about Krishna more. Out of love. Bhakti is loving Krishna. So our eagerness to know about Krishna is not there. At least we should understand that if I have to become devotee, then I should hear about Krishna. By speaking about Krishna, also that purifies our heart. And then that also makes us more connected to Krishna. Okay. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai.
Jai.
बहुत अच्छे गाने हैं।